Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, fine folks. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News, your #1 podcast for the RV, whereby people from all over the world are tuning in and taking notice to what Goldilocks is sharing for the RV, and whereby in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room, where we are educating and showing our members how to establish relationships with the bankers who are going to exchange their currency and prepare them and set them up for generational wealth and manage their wealth, even to the point of having financial plans to earn a monthly income from the interest gained on the currencies you exchange. Several of our members are in the process of doing this with the actual bankers. Two things I want you to do. Bottom right, you'll see a red sign to make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay tuned to the daily updates from Goldilocks. And then also, the first link in the description at the top is to join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room, where you can meet and ask for help from us to help you establish your relationship with wealth managers and the bankers, where the members who are doing this are there as well to help you. It's free, costs you nothing but your time. Funny story, we even have a member today who made the post in the room that the wealth manager, that's right, the banker who will be responsible for managing her wealth after her exchange, is actually coming to her home to meet with her. You can meet that young lady and the rest of the members. First link in the description at the top. Now, Goldilocks has some very important information for you today. Many of you don't even know that Iraq has been meeting with the global financial agencies that are responsible for us going to a gold-backed standard. That's the Bretton Woods. Members such as the IMF and the World Bank are members of Bretton Woods. These are a few of the global agencies that make up the Bretton Woods, which is, folks, where our gold standard will come from, that will back the dinar, the dong, the US dollar, and other currencies. You don't want to exchange your money. You don't want to exchange millions of dollars into a financial system that's backed by nothing, do you? This is where the Bretton Woods comes to provide the gold standard to protect our wealth in the new system. I just got off the phone with Goldilocks and we went over everything. Let's jump right into it. Folks, Goldilocks is sharing that there is a digital transformation that the World Bank and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, are in the process of finalizing. Remember, this is also where the Bretton Woods, which is our gold standard, will come from. These two agencies, the IMF and the World Bank. Goldilocks is sharing that this is why we've been witnessing the IMF and the World Bank become actively involved these last few years in Article 4. Listen to this. What are called Article 4 consultations with countries that are seeking to become Basel III compliant. Earlier this year, Goldilocks shared the report by the World Bank. Actually, let me take that back. It was last year, whereby the World Bank already did their Article 4 consultation with Iraq in 2023. Yes, Iraq is Basel III compliant. The new tokenized assets we are witnessing slowly begin to move into supply and demand, are starting to find their equilibrium in the banking system. The IMF will play a key role, ladies and gentlemen, in the digital economy. Yes, the digital economy, when you hear Goldilocks speak of that, it's the quantum financial system. The IMF is playing a pivotal role, and they analyze digital assets. The World Bank offers a range of services as well to help countries such as Iraq to harness their power of digital transformation. Because, folks, in order for us to be able to exchange our currencies in the quantum financial system from whichever country that currency is from, let's say Iraq, let's say Vietnam, those countries must be digital. Iraq already announced earlier this year that the Iraqi banking system has been digitized. The World Bank helped them. The World Bank's efforts include establishing a foundation for a digital economy. They did that for Iraq. Building and enhancing digital and data infrastructure. They helped Iraq to do that. Ensuring cybersecurity and data privacy. They helped Iraq do that. Advancing digital government services. They helped Iraq do that. Accelerating digital inclusion. Remember I told you Iraq announced they went digital earlier this year? They helped Iraq do that. The World Bank also publishes digital progress and trends for certain countries. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are both part of the Bretton Woods system. Goldilocks is stating that I'm not sure if it would be a hard or a soft announcement at the beginning of next year, but the beginning stages of the Bretton Woods, which is a gold standard, folks, will commence. The IMF and the World Bank are not explicitly implementing a Bretton Woods 3 system, but they are actively collaborating to address the global economic challenges through international cooperation. When you think of the gold standard, think of this. There are joint initiatives. Both the IMF and the World Bank are increasing their projects, addressing certain financial inclusion for countries around the world. And they're focusing on what's called emerging economies. Emerging economies. Folks, Iraq is considered to be an emerging economy. What that means is they're at a mid-level looking to advance to an advanced economy. Large in part, when Iraq enters into the World Trade Organization and goes international, they will become a market economy. What does that mean? They're open to the global market. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, folks, are more important than you think of. Who is behind the scenes orchestrating the RV? Think of who might be behind the scenes as a global financial institution that's working with all of the countries around the world for the currencies that you hold, helping them, such as Iraq, to evolve to an international economy so that they can RV. It is the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are working together to promote the digital transformation of countries around the world like Iraq. digital inclusion. The World Bank works with multiple governments in developing those countries such as Iraq, such as Vietnam, to address regulations and infrastructure so that they can become digital, which Iraq and Vietnam has. As a matter of fact, Vietnam announced that they have elevated to a cashless society. They announced in July. That's digital. The IMF and the World Bank largely responsible and focuses on supporting digital transformation for countries such as Iraq and Vietnam. The World Bank's Digital Development Partnership builds strong digital foundations for countries such as Iraq and Vietnam. They also focus on cross-border payments. That is how we will be able to exchange our currency in the quantum financial system, is through cross-border payments. When you have one currency such as the dinar and you want to exchange it for the USD, those are two different currencies on two different borders. And when you exchange them, that's considered cross-border payments, because you're exchanging one currency from one country that's on another border with another country of another. The IMF, Goldilocks is sharing, the IMF and the World Bank are preparing for the gold standard sometime beginning of next year. Also, Goldilocks wants you to know, and this is how, there is a collaborative effort of not only international financial institutions such as the World Bank and IMF getting prepared for the RV, but the Federal Reserve Bank. Who has Iraq been meeting with in the United States all year? The Federal Reserve Bank in New York, the World Bank and the IMF. The Federal Reserve Bank has a cross-border, speaking of cross-border, a real-time settlement service that allows banks from around the world to settle currency exchanges instantly. That service is called FedNow. Iraq is already connected to them. Also, FedWire, which goes on board in 2025 from the Federal Reserve. They're all working with the IMF and the World Bank, and of course, the U.S. Treasury Department, which is the king of the RV, and which the Federal Reserve is actually rolled up under now by way of President Trump in 2018 restructuring the banking system in the United States, where the Federal Reserve is now rolled under the U.S. Treasury. Documented proof, receipts to show proof of it, Goldilocks has provided. So folks, you must understand and know, when you have the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Federal Reserve Bank, which is under the U.S. Treasury, and the digitizing of our banking system connecting to the World Bank, IMF, they also allow the connection to Iraq, Vietnam, and others through the digital systems, the cross-border payment systems that they are constantly testing in preparation for the quantum financial system to go live globally and the RV to occur. There are links in the description which shows the proof of what Goldilocks is sharing by the IMF, World Bank, and Federal Reserve. They all know what's coming. And members in our room, the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, they're witnessing firsthand, face-to-face with the bankers who they are establishing relationships with, who they are planning the wealth strategies for their future and generational wealth for when their exchanges occur. Our members are doing it. Why not you? You are more than welcome to join the tribe. It costs you nothing. Link is in the description at the top. Come in, wipe your feet. We will open our arms and welcome you with love. Be kind, be in love, unconditional love. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.